A little bocce ball at Potispilja. An absolutely beautiful afternoon.
Was the second ball. We got a couple more guys to go. And it's a little warm in the shade, a little cool. It's just couldn't be much better. Rain cleaned all the dust out. Nope.
Off to Palagruza, the historic fishing site for over 500 years for the citizens of Komiža. Palagruza is located about 40 miles due south of Komiža. Very rich fishing grounds. Nowadays, basically it's been fished out. There's not just a little local fishing for local consumption, no commercial activity whatsoever. Many tales about the trials and tribulations of the citizens of Komiža coming here to fish, with a regatta, storms, death at sea, other tragic events.
And they come here and they put the boat on the ground yeah, they put some wood.
Yeah.
Paluga, they call it paluga. And they put the boat on the no namo, yeah. No namo, baba. Preta poprovi.
The archaeologists from the University of Split just happened to be at Palagruza. They're looking for more and more artifacts from the Diomedes area. They had a crew of about 12 people there. They were working about a project of about 3 weeks.
More of the archaeological dig.
The Lighthouse building also served as a fort, could garrison anywhere from 50 to 100 troops. The basement of this thing is a giant cistern. The only way you'd get any water here is what falls from the sky. This is the island of Svetac, or San Andrea. This is the Philando Bimbo, the earliest recorded spot where the Philando family settled, farmed, raised goats, etc.
I believe this was all built.
It was a Benedictine monastery built well over 1,000 years ago. This area is located right at the top of the island. A very difficult path. Takes an hour, hour and a half to walk up here. I think the Benedictines used it as a fortified position. Enough flat land and water up here that you could grow enough wheat and other food items. You could probably subsist up here. There's an old family legend about buried gold up here. The story goes back to about the 1803 when the Philando family made a voyage from Komiža to Švetac. The father, 2 sons, and a daughter, all 4 died in a very tragic maritime accident. Recorded date is May 7th, 1802. This island is also the legendary home of Queen Tuata. Dates from the Illyrian times in her battles and banishment by the Romans in the 200 BC era.
Antonio, in that water. Good water, huh? Good water? Look at that.
Good.
I don't know about that, Antonio.
Good.
Dobro.
When Mr. Philando and his family came over here in 1802, the tragic accident, we believe they were bringing roofing tiles over for this shed that they were living in.
Well, Gregory, it's the last time I'm going to see this. I'll tell you that right now. It took an hour and a half to walk up here. That was tough. It was a cool day, too. And this is the territory we covered to get up here. That's one tough walk. Hour and a half for me, maybe an hour for them, but still one tough, not a very good trail. That's where we're going back down. There's a little Philando Spilias right down there.
Here are the British heroes disembarking in Veestown, going over to the cemetery behind St. George Church for memorial service. Again, these are the veterans and heroes of World War II who saved Komiža from the Germans. They come every year to honor their fallen comrades. The cemetery we're going to see in a little while is the same cemetery the British used in the early 1800s to bury the victims from their battle between the British and Napoleon's troops throughout the Adriatic. This is an annual event. I've been carrying this on since the end of World War II. These British veterans are the only ones who were allowed, only strangers or non-natives who were allowed to visit Vist during the height of the communist era. This is the War Memorial in Komiža. There's a similar one in Wiestetown, listing all the citizens who died fighting the Germans during World War II, men and women. Some of these women were young girls, actually as young as 17. Some of the boys were as young as 15.
Now we're going to start the crushing process. No fancy electrical here, all by hand. And he starts crushing the grapes into the drum. Too close.
Moramo se premjestiti. Skoro.
Back-breaking work. Next time you have a glass of wine in San Pedro, think about how much work it is.
Aha.
Right?
That's right.
Yeah. We're all standing here talking about when they're going to press the grapes. They're just doing the crushing. They're going to set for till maybe Friday or Saturday, then they're going to press them. They're all going to come over Saturday and take some more pictures of them pressing them. You look good, Lena. Dobro.
She said, if you make it, make it. If not, not.
Okay, they got to do it anyway, yeah. Yeah, they want me to come watch them press. That'd be a lot of fun. I tell you again, the next time you take a glass of wine, fellas, ladies and gentlemen, look deep into the bottom of that glass. See how much work went into that. They have electricity on Biševo, but they still use a hand crusher. They crush it right in the fields. We're going to go up and take a look at the crushing operation here again. Look at a beautiful field. This little vineyard looks like sand, like beach sand. Very, very soft. But it must be one of the best or better pieces of land for growing grapes. Almost the whole island at one time was covered with vineyards, but only the best are being used now. They just don't have the labor to harvest any greater amount than, say, this much here in one season. I don't think there's anybody in this field under 60 years old. This is Beppo's tractor. It's about 6 horsepower, Sveto says. They're going to haul these grapes up to the house to go in the tank so they can ferment, and then they go into the press after that. It's about 6 horsepower. It's a diesel engine. Oh, the crushed juice, fresh from the press. Little hydrometer. We'll see how good it looks. Basically the sugar content. Pretty good, Evo? And we're taking the crushed grapes, the juice, out of the barrel, putting them into a plastic bag. Plastic bag is placed inside of a heavy oilskin bag. Plastic is impervious to the liquid, but the heavy oilskin bag is used because it can handle the weight. They fill these bags up, put a little preservative in on top of the wine. This is the white stuff, it's a preservative. Now they're going to close that up tight. All the air will be gone. is right below the monastery. Hear a dog barking up there. He loves us. And here's a house now. There's houses out in the countryside. Not everybody lives right in downtown Komiža. We used to manufacture boats here, basically fiberglass. And again, there doesn't seem to be any indication that any of this stuff is, plugged in and working. This is where we came from the beach. In the mountains and the little valley below the monastery. Big grove of trees here. Some little farmer over here, he's got a good deal. He got free water coming up out of the ground to feed these trees. This is the front door of the cannery. That's the only door to that church, is that little door right there. I don't know what saint the church is named after. Here's the nameplate above the, quote, new church. I can't read it. I'll take some pictures. Maybe somebody will be able to figure it out. There's the year it was built. Here we are at the Church of St. Mary's, or the Pirate Church. This is the far north end of the town of Komiža, past the beach and past the Hotel Biševo. The center section of the church was built in 1515, shortly after Columbus discovered America. The two side churches were added in the 1700s. This church is built here on this beach. This beach was used by the fishermen to tend their nets. It was a small pebble beach. They could launch their boats safely here without worrying about caving in the hull on big rocks. They could also spread their nets on the beach because of the small pebbles rather than the hard, immovable stone, and they could mend their nets here. There is video and film around showing the fishermen launching their boats from this beach. It's now used strictly as a tourist situation. Tourists from Europe will come down here and spend, their summer vacation, a month or so, and lay in the sand, taking in the waters and the good fish here in Komiža. This is also where the main well for Komiža was. Cecilia Peternell told me about this well when she was a little girl, maybe 5, 10 years old. Used to come down here. Stepmother sent her down here to fetch water from the well. Well, the well is not used as a well anymore, but it's been tapped. These are watermarks on the side of the building. It's been tapped, and it's now used to supply water to the city of Komiža. They have a pump system back there, I believe. I haven't found it yet. I might not find it. They have a pump system that pumps the water out of the ground, pumps it into the piping system to supply water to the city. This is the main door to this church, the center section. Church of St. Mary, also called the Pirate Church. There's the bells, capers growing out of the wall. Here we are about halfway between the Hotel Biševo and the Riva. It's just a nice place that I like. Very nice and cool here. See, there's some fishing boats at the Riva. The fishing boats from Split. Another yacht. Another big fishing boat from Split. Strangest looking fishing boat I ever saw from Split. There's the light at the end of the pier. It uses a mooring marker, and they now have a permanent immigration station there. Let's take some views of up and down the street here. That way takes you to the Hotel Biševo, some of the homes. More architecture, stonework, new stones, old stones. Now this pathway, this takes you to the Riva. You can't get lost. All these old homes. 200, 300 years old, maybe 400, maybe not 400 years old. Here we are, 2:30 in the afternoon, sitting on the Riva. Just finished lunch. Beautiful day. Not too hot. Little breeze comes up once in a while. There's the boat. The second boat out there is the one that goes to Biševo. In the background up there, over the top of the first house, the second house with a chimney, that's the Anton Zenke. He's the captain or cavalier of the castle. Look at that. That's his house.
Yeah.
Sitting right there. His house again. We're going to have a lot of pictures of his house. There's his little chimney. Yeah, we just panorama over the boats here. Nice day. Everybody's just taking it easy. Not too hot. It's warm, but it's not too hot. And we get down the tree here. We're going to get the Borsich restaurant, right? I think that's it right there. Yep, that's it. Through the lobster pots. And there's the Church of St. Mary. The church we were at this morning. 3 bells. And the Church of St. Blage. Sveti Blage. Follow this pole line up here. Yeah, follow that up, and it goes up that way. And that's it right up there. They go up there once a year to celebrate Feast Day of St. Blage. Ah, I think I can see the church now. Yeah, I can see the roof of the church. It looks like a long hike to me. Well, we're looking at the architecture of these 4 homes here. This one here, the balcony and the roof line. The next one over, maybe that looks a little Austrian, maybe not, who knows. And this one here, maybe the oldest of the bunch. Got the roof beams extending out. Nice balcony. And maybe a little Austrian there too, who knows. Looks like a lot newer building though. We're just past the road to the monastery. Here's the monument to the 10 citizens of Komiža who were selected on a random basis by the Italian occupation forces. They brought these 10 up here in retribution for theft of some military rifles and some military radios. The partisans had raided the Italian camp and took some material and would not return it. In retribution, the Italians came over, enforced to the town of Komiža, selected 25 citizens at random. 15 of the citizens were released, given their freedom. The other 10 were marched up here at 6 o'clock in the afternoon and massacred with machine guns by the Italians. This monument is right off the road. Look there for your family names. Remember how in America we suffered in World War II, huh? Rationing and air raid drills. Here they paid a different price. Poor land utilization, but nice looking cemetery. These 2 layers here, then there's another layer right up there. Go up there in a minute. See just about every one of my ancestral names on one of these tombstones down here in the new section. Now we're looking at the monastery. It looks like a gun port. Gun port. We know we're not going to get in today, but we're working on getting in this place. Here's an interesting grave right next to the Philando grave. I don't know what this guy did for a living, but I know what that symbol is. We have another one here. These have got to be Lina and Beppo's people. Check the spelling of the last name here. Antuna Philando, Josa Philando. I don't know. That might be Sveto's grandfather, but I don't think so.
See, the palm, they're all related by glass.
Right, these are children.
And these are the...
Yes, I discovered here, I'm standing on grave sites. These are tombs. People are slid in, the bodies are slid into there. The northwest side of the Moster here, you can see the fortifications here, the tower and the Moster. Also, here's a spot where they have the festival or fiesta or the burning of the Palagruza in honor of St. Nicholas. There's nothing here now, but you can see some of the scorch marks in the ashes on the dirt where they burn the old ship. It's a tough Sunday afternoon for the children of Komiža. Look at that, boy, oh boy. Teenage heaven here, huh? Here we are about a mile south of the main road between Vis and Komiža. Just west of the little round church is a path. We've come up here probably a mile. Everybody tells us it's a mile. And it looks like this is the old Philando farm at the Kosterna. This looks like the barn, we think. We'll go and take some more pictures here. Ah, the good life at the Kosterna. We think this is the barn here where they kept the animals. The animals could go in here in inclement weather. And we think this is the home here. This is a cistern. This is a tank. See the copper sulfate coloring? Mix up the copper sulfate to put on the vines. And that's the barn where they'd keep the donkey. And this is the house, we're pretty sure. We'll go inside and take a look. The roof has all been caved in. Rubble on the floor. Two walls of the house are just solid, the natural stone. And it erected two walls in the doorway. Found a good natural building spot. This is the roof area. And you have the plants that have grown over the house. This is where they farmed, had a vineyard in here. Section here. I guess this is a real Komiža and barbecue. This doesn't look like anything like the barbecue that the Dalmatian Americans have. Not at all. No singing now. They're all tired. They're hungry, I guess.
We ran out of song.
Sit down, please. Here. Sit down.
Smile! There's Andre again. Still cooking up a lot of fish. Still going strong cooking that fish. Look at that. Happy fish. Oh, is he happy? Picture of the Castle of Komiža, 1736. Anton Zanke, one of my ancestors, was the captain or the cavalier of this castle under Venetian rule. Ivan Kuljas, John Vidovich's grandfather. This house was built. They would come up here in the summertime to tend their vineyards. The women would come up here in the winter, in all times of year, to wash their clothes. There's a large cistern down at this end. And they would come up here and wash their clothes. There's John Smile, John.
Hi, Dave.
Hi.
This is beautiful air.
Well, it's a good life, John.
That's America, but this air is
You're right. You're right. You're right.
beautiful air. Nice. Fine trees.
You couldn't ask for a prettier place.
Wonderful.
Place absolutely beautiful. Maybe 100 years old. I don't know.
Oh, more than that.
Couple?
It's about maybe 150, 170 years.
150 to 200 years old. There's Antoinette's working out here.
A to je nož, donesi nož, samo od muških je nož. Ovo je kruh Nelda ispekla.
Ja sam glada.
Ko je gladan?
Ja sam gladan i sad ništa ne
Znate kaj smo še dobro utrnili, a?
Ja. O ja. Hvala kome. Hvala.
This is a Kanabe Ivo Vidovich buffet.
No, daj drugom, ja.
Here comes the kroha, here comes the meat. Little navigation light just sits there, blinks all the time. Velko.
Hi.
There's Velko. He's our guide.
Me and my dog.
Neil breaks trail and Velko does the guiding. With hard stone, you can see where there's caves, there's slit trenches. Although I believe it was built by the Austrians, they disassembled the forts in about the 1870s. But the Yugoslav army would use this for a training exercise to bring the men up here, conditioning and training. They could do live firing from up here. Probably a good conditioning work. I bet they'd work these guys 2 or 3 times a day up and down the trail in full gear. Here you can see the slit trench overlooking the bay. It goes around, it's about 180 degrees all the way around. There's another little cove there. A little rocky beach there. We're going to come across something that's really picture postcard here. Still looking at Fortissa and other things like that. Look at this little cove here. Sheltered. Got a little house down in here. Maybe a little shepherd's house, something like that. There's the start of the river where the little plaza is. Valko's friend has a little cafe he just started up there, just starting business. I hear the generators running. No electricity.
Vidite svoj pjerko. Vidite svoj bio na naš tamo, a nisam muke nekog govoriti tako da možda nije ovo je možda generacija. Bio tamo. Vidite svoj pjer na naša sluča se
Getting ready for the funeral. We saw his people over there getting ready up there. We don't know when the procession's going to the funeral of Mr.
Marijana neće doći na prvi randevu. Još će mnoge noći proći